Hashtag my ex-wife mocked me for being a single dad. My billionaire boss wrapped an arm around me. You'll never make it on your own, Mark. You can barely take care of yourself, let alone our daughter. Those words from my ex-wife haunted me as I stood in the rain outside my daughter's school, 15 minutes late for pickup. But what happened next changed everything, when my billionaire boss pulled up in his Bentley, stepped out with an umbrella, and wrapped a protective arm around both me and my little girl. Family takes care of family, he said. And that was just the beginning. If you're enjoying this story of resilience, support, and unexpected friendship, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more emotional journeys that remind us all that we're never truly alone in our struggles. The rain was relentless that afternoon, much like the challenges that had been pounding down on me since the divorce. My phone had died, my car wouldn't start, and I'd had to run 3 blocks from the bus stop to Emma's elementary school. By the time I arrived, soaking wet and out of breath, the dismissal area was nearly empty except for my 7-year-old daughter sitting on a bench under the awning, her small shoulders slumped in disappointment. "Daddy, you're late again," Emma said, her voice small but the accusation large. "I'm so sorry, sweetheart," I replied, kneeling down despite my drenched clothes. "The car wouldn't." "Save your excuses, Mark," came a sharp voice from behind me. My stomach dropped as I turned to see Vanessa, my ex-wife, standing there in her perfectly pressed business suit, not a hair out of place. She had come to drop off some of Emma's things and had witnessed my tardy arrival. "This is exactly what I was talking about in court. You're just not reliable enough to be a primary caregiver." He felt my face burn with shame and anger. The custody battle had been brutal, and though I'd managed to secure joint custody, Vanessa never missed an opportunity to remind me of her belief that I was inadequate. Before I could respond, a sleek black Bentley pulled up to the curb, drawing everyone's attention. The driver's door opened, and out stepped Gabriel Winters, CEO of Winters Enterprises and my direct boss for the past 3 years. At 45, Gabriel was everything I wasn't: confident, powerful, and seemingly untouchable by life's ordinary problems. What was he doing here? "Mark," he called, striding toward us with an umbrella. "I tried calling when you didn't show up for our meeting. When I couldn't reach you, I tracked your phone location." It reached us and immediately extended the umbrella to cover Emma and me. "Is everything all right?" "Mr. Winters," I stammered, mortified that my professional and personal failures were now on display for my boss. "I'm so sorry about the meeting. My car broke down and—" Gabriel waved away my explanation, his eyes taking in the situation, my drenched appearance, Emma's dejected face, and Vanessa's judgmental stare. Without hesitation, he extended his hand to my ex-wife. "You must be Vanessa. eBay heard about you," he said, his tone polite but cool. "I'm Gabriel Winters, Mark's boss." Vanessa's demeanor changed instantly. I'd seen it before, the way she transformed in the presence of wealth and power. "Mr. Winters, it's a pleasure. I'm sorry you had to come all this way because Mark couldn't manage his responsibilities." Gabriel's expression didn't change, but I noticed a hardening in his eyes. "Actually, I came because Mark is one of my most valuable employees. When he missed our meeting, I was concerned, not inconvenienced." He turned to Emma and smiled warmly. "And you must be Emma, your dad talks about you all the time." Emma, usually shy around strangers, smiled back. "He does?" "Absolutely. In fact, he keeps your artwork on his desk. That rainbow unicorn is the envy of the office." Emma giggled, and I felt a surge of gratitude toward Gabriel for this small kindness. Gabriel then did something that surprised me. He wrapped an arm around my shoulders and looked directly at Vanessa. "Mark is not just an exceptional employee, he's an exceptional father. I've seen how hard he works to balance his responsibilities. Perhaps instead of criticism, what he needs is support." Vanessa's face flushed. "I don't think you understand our situation, Mr. Winters." "Perhaps not," Gabriel replied. "But I understand character, and Mark has it in spades." It turned to me. "Let's get you and Emma home. My driver can take us, and we'll sort out your car tomorrow." As we walked toward the Bentley, Gabriel's arm still around my shoulders, I felt something I hadn't experienced in a long time: dignity. Emma skipped ahead, excited about the fancy car ride, while Vanessa stood speechless behind us. That rainy afternoon marked the beginning of an unexpected friendship that would transform not just my career, but my entire life. The following Monday, I arrived at work early, determined to make up for missing Friday's meeting. Gabriel's office door was open, and he waved me in before I could even knock. "Mark, good morning." How was your weekend with Emma? It was good, sir. Thank you again for Friday. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Gabriel leaned back in his chair. Mark, we've worked together for 3 years. In that time, I've watched you handle impossible deadlines, difficult clients, and a divorce, all while being a devoted father. What I haven't seen is you asking for help when you need it. He shifted uncomfortably. I don't want special treatment because of my personal situation. It's not special treatment to acknowledge that employees have lives outside of work, Gabriel replied. Tell me, what's your biggest challenge right now? The question caught me off guard. There were so many challenges: financial strain from the divorce, the unreliable car, the constant juggling of work and parenting, the loneliness, but one stood out. Dime, I admitted. There's never enough of it. When I'm at work, I worry about Emma. When I'm with Emma, I worry about work. And somewhere in between, I'm supposed to maintain a household. Gabriel nodded thoughtfully. I have a proposal for you. We've been discussing opening a flexible workspace program for parents. How would you feel about being the test case? You could work remotely 2 days a week, and we could set up a small childcare area here at the office for emergency situations. He stared at him, stunned. Sir, that's incredibly generous, but it's not generosity, Mark. It's good business. We can't afford to lose talented employees because our work structure is stuck in the last century. He leaned forward. And please, call me Gabriel. Sir makes me feel like my father. That conversation was the first of many that changed how I viewed my boss. Gabriel wasn't just a billionaire CEO, he was a man who had faced his own struggles and believed in creating opportunities for others. Over the following weeks, the flexible work arrangement proved transformative. He was more productive, less stressed, and most importantly, more present for Emma. But Vanessa wasn't pleased with these developments. One evening, as she dropped Emma off at my apartment, she cornered me in the hallway. So you've managed to charm your way into special treatment at work, she said, her voice dripping with disdain. Don't think I don't see what you're doing, Mark. Usinyor sad single dad story to gain sympathy. He took a deep breath, determined not to let her provoke me. It's not special treatment, Vanessa. It's a pilot program that benefits the company as much as it does me. Right, she scoffed. And I suppose your billionaire boss just happened to show up at Emma's school out of concern for his valuable employee. Please. It probably felt sorry for you. Her words stung because they echoed my own insecurities. Was Gabriel just pitying me? Before I could respond, Emma appeared in the doorway. Mommy, why are you being mean to Daddy? She asked, her small face troubled. Vanessa's expression softened immediately. I'm not being mean, es waitie. Grown-ups just have complicated conversations sometimes. Emma looked unconvinced. Mr. Gabriel says Daddy is the hardest worker he knows. He says Daddy is a superhero because he does 2 jobs at once, being a daddy and being a business person. He was surprised. Gabriel had visited us at home once when he dropped off some documents, and he and Emma had chatted while I reviewed the papers. He hadn't realized they'd talked about me. Vanessa's lips thinned. Well, Mr. Gabriel doesn't see everything, does he? She kissed Emma goodbye and left without another word to me. That night, after tucking Emma into bed, I sat alone in my small living room, thinking about Vanessa's insinuation. Was Gabriel's kindness merely pity? The thought bothered me more than it should have. The next day at work, I found myself watching Gabriel more closely. He moved through the office with easy confidence, but there was something else I noticed, a certain solitude. Despite being surrounded by people, Gabriel Winter seemed alone. During our weekly check-in, I finally gathered the courage to ask the question that had been bothering me. Gabriel, can I ask you something personal? He looked up from his tablet, eyebrows raised. Of course. Why are you helping me? Really? Gabriel set down his tablet and was quiet for a moment. Do you know much about my background, Mark? He shook my head. Despite working for him for years, Gabriel was intensely private. There were rumors, of course, that he'd built his fortune from nothing, that he'd once been married to a European aristocrat, that he had a secret family somewhere, but nothing concrete. I was raised by a single father, Gabriel said, surprising me. My mother left when I was 4. My father worked 3 jobs to keep us afloat. It was often late to school pickups, missed some performances, and our apartment was usually a mess. A small smile played on his lips. But he never missed saying goodnight, never forgot to ask about my day, and never made me feel like I wasn't his priority. He listened, fascinated by this glimpse into my boss's life. When I see you with Emma, I see that same dedication. The difference is, my father didn't have anyone to make his path easier. Eve always thought that was a shame. Gabriel's eyes met mine. So no, Mark, it's not pity. It's recognition. And perhaps a bit of paying forward what I wish someone had done for my dad. His honesty humbled me. Thank you for telling me that. There's something else, Gabriel added. I admire how you've handled your divorce. You've never spoken ill of Vanessa in the office, despite what I imagine has been a difficult situation. He shrugged. She's Emma's mother. Whatever happened between us doesn't change that. Gabriel nodded approvingly. That kind of integrity is rare. Now, shall we get back to the Henderson proposal? As we returned to work, I felt a weight lift from my shoulders. Gabriel's help wasn't charity or pity, it was one father honoring another. The weeks that followed brought new challenges. Emma's school announced a father-daughter dance, and she was ecstatic. On the other hand, was terrified. Dancing wasn't my strong suit, and the event fell on the same night as a crucial client dinner that Gabriel had asked me to attend. When I explained the conflict to Gabriel, his solution was unexpected. Bring Emma to the dinner, he suggested. We'll have it at the Grand Hotel. They have a ballroom adjacent to the private dining room. After dinner, you can slip away for the father-daughter dance, and then rejoin us for dessert. Emma can have dinner with my assistant's daughter, who's about her age. Are you sure? This is an important client. Gabriel smiled. The client is a family man himself. I understand, maybe even respect it. Besides, I think it's time Winters Enterprises showed that we practice what we preach about work-life balance. The night of the dinner arrived, and Emma was beside herself with excitement. She wore a blue dress that Vanessa had bought her, and I had splurged on a new tie to match. As we entered the Grand Hotel, Emma's eyes widened at the crystal chandeliers and marble floors. Daddy, it's like a castle, she whispered, clutching my hand. Gabriel met us in the lobby, dressed impeccably as always. He knelt down to Emma's level. You look absolutely beautiful, Miss Emma, like a princess. Emma beamed. Thank you, Mr. Gabriel. Daddy says I have to be on my best behavior because this is a grown-up party. Well, your daddy is right, but I think you'll have fun too. Lily is waiting for you in the children's dining room. They have ice cream sundaes for dessert. Emma's eyes lit up, and she looked at me questioningly. Yes, you can have one, I laughed. But dinner first. The client dinner went surprisingly well. Mr. Takahashi, the Japanese businessman we were courting, brought his own son, a college student who was learning the family business. When I excused myself for the father-daughter dance, Mr. Takahashi nodded approvingly. Family obligations are sacred, he said. Please, enjoy this time with your daughter. The dance was magical. Emma stood on my shoes as I twirled her around the school gymnasium, her laughter the sweetest sound I'd ever heard. We took selfies, ate cupcakes, and for those precious moments, all my worries faded away. When we returned to the hotel, Emma was tired but happy. She fell asleep in a plush chair in the corner of the private dining room while the adults finished their business discussion. As the meeting concluded successfully, Gabriel helped me gather our things. You have a wonderful daughter, he said quietly, looking at Emma's sleeping form. Thank you. She's the best thing in my life. Gabriel seemed about to say something else when my phone buzzed. It was Vanessa. I need to take this, I said apologetically. Vanessa's voice was tied with anger. Mark, why didn't you tell me you were taking Emma to a business dinner? That wasn't part of our agreement. He stepped away from the table. It wasn't planned this way. The dance was at the same time as an important work event, and Gabriel suggested a compromise. Oh, Gabriel suggested it, did he? Her tone was mocking. And of course, whatever Gabriel says goes. Did you even consider that exposing Emma to your work environment might be confusing for her? Or that maybe I should have been consulted? Emma had a great time, I defended. She had dinner with another child her age, and then we went to the dance as planned. She's asleep now, and I'm about to take her home. This is exactly what I'm talking about, Mark. You make these decisions without thinking them through. What kind of example are you setting? That work always comes first? That it's okay to bring a child to an adult business function? Her words hit a nerve. Was I making a mistake? Was I failing Emma by trying to balance everything? I'm doing my best, Vanessa, I said, my voice low. Well, your best isn't good enough. I'm calling my lawyer tomorrow. This arrangement clearly isn't working. The call ended, and I stood there, phone in hand, feeling like I'd been punched in the gut. When I turned around, Gabriel was standing nearby, his expression concerned. Everything all right? He tried to smile. Just ex-wife issues. Nothing new. Gabriel studied me for a moment. Let me have my driver take you and Emma home. Jube had a long night. Though exhausted to argue, I accepted. As we rode in the back of the luxurious car, Emma asleep against my shoulder, Gabriel broke the silence. You know, my father used to say that guilt is the tax we pay on the privilege of parenthood. We're always worried we're not doing enough, being enough. He looked at him, surprised by the insight. Your father sounds like a wise man. He was. Gabriel's expression turned wistful. He passed away 5 years ago, Cancer. I'd give anything for one more conversation with him. I'm sorry, I said, genuinely moved by this revelation. Don't be. He lived a good life, and he knew he was loved. Gabriel turned to look at me directly. Whatever Vanessa said on that call, remember this, Emma knows she's loved. I've seen it in the way she looks at you. That's what matters most. His words stayed with me long after he dropped us off. As I tucked Emma into bed, her sleepy voice caught me by surprise. Daddy, are you and Mr. Gabriel best friends? He smiled. Why do you ask that, sweetheart? Because he looks at you the way Lily looks at her best friend Zoe. Like he thinks you're really special. Children and their observations. Mr. Gabriel is my boss, but yes, I think we're becoming friends too. Emma nodded, satisfied. Good. You need a friend, Daddy. Sometimes you look sad when you think I'm not watching. Her perception stunned me. He kissed her forehead. I'm not sad when.